Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the city of Port St. Lucie in Florida. Now if you're watching this, it's likely because you are either researching the area to see if this area makes sense for your next move, or you already know you're moving to Port St. Lucie and you're just trying to get some more understanding on the area that you're about to move to. I work with people in both scenarios, and I'm hoping that today in this video I'm able to provide you with some valuable information to help you on your home buying journey. And if you don't know who I am Matt Saladonio, a local realtor here in my hometown of Port St. Lucie. Now let's start talking about this great city. Starting with the location, Port St. Lucie is located on the east coast of Florida, just about 50 minutes of West Palm Beach. I personally consider Port St. Lucie a South Florida city. However, I know people would argue it's just too far north to be considered South Florida. And what I would say to that is that Port St. Lucie's lifestyle and feel is much closer to a South Florida city than what we typically see in our Central Florida cities. To further that point, Port St. Lucie has become a really popular option for people moving from Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade counties looking to make some money on the sale of their home, move to a more affordable area while still keeping some of the similarities from the South Florida city that they are moving from. Speaking of similarities to South Florida, one of the negatives that I do hear every now and then about Port St. Lucie brought up is the infrastructure and traffic of the area. Now I will bring this up again, is that largely the buyers that are moving to Port St. Lucie are either moving here from South Florida or they are debating between Port St. Lucie and other South Florida cities. And I can guarantee you no city south of Port St. Lucie is going to have less traffic than this area. It only gets crazier the more south you go in Florida. So I understand that traffic stinks. No one likes it. It's not great, but the traffic in Port St. Lucie is not unbearable. If you're someone that's lived here for 5 or more years, then I understand that it's probably going to bother you because it's not how things used to be. But we have a great city, and that's why a lot of people want to move here. And the city is doing its best to kind of catch up. I know they got behind pretty quick, but who predicted that this area was going to explode the way it did? So I'll cut them a little bit of slack, but they are adding roads. Like, they just expanded the bridge in St. Lucie West. They are changing merge lanes into extra lanes, which is perfect and makes the most sense. They just greenlit an expansion of the California Boulevard Road, which has been a 2-lane road my entire life. So the city knows that it is something that needs to be addressed, and they are actually doing something to address it. So I can't stay mad or get upset over traffic because I like how the area is growing. I know that may be crazy to say, but I like seeing developments. I like seeing more things happening in the city that I'm in. Now, if you want to say that we don't have enough infrastructure as far as grocery stores or parking in Port St. Lucie, I can get behind you on that, but I will say that there are a lot of developments currently under construction with multiple grocery stores, and it's going to help a lot with the traffic and the craziness of the area because they're putting grocery stores and plazas in place very close to neighborhoods, so people aren't having to drive that far. They can basically walk to go to grocery stores and whatnot, which is going to be huge for the area. It's going to save people a lot of time getting out of their cars. This is also going to help with the golf cart movement in Port St. Lucie. But the last part, as far as infrastructure goes, that I've only been asked a few times and I understand it, is they asked how are the hospitals in Port St. Lucie due to the influx of people. And personally, I've went to most of the hospitals in Port St. Lucie over the last few years with my mom, and we've never had any issues as far as getting her treatment and taken care of in a timely manner. So I understand that that could be a concern people may be having, and maybe others have different stories about the hospitals in the area, but personally I haven't experienced any negatives when I've went to the hospitals. And I do know that there are a bunch of medical plazas under construction in the Tradition area of Port St. Lucie. Not necessarily sure what these are going to entail, or what a medical plaza can do in lieu of a hospital, but hopefully adding the extra spots for people to go will also help alleviate some of the stress that's put on the hospitals in Port St. Lucie. And the other negative that you'll hear about this area every now and then, a lot of the time from locals, but I do see it from people moving here from maybe cheaper property tax areas, is going to be Port St. Lucie has the highest property taxes in Florida, and it's at a 22.285 millage rate. So basically for every $100,000 your house cost, you're looking at close to $2,300 in property taxes annually. So hopefully that gives you like a good idea so that you're able to just, napkin math and figure out what your property taxes will be looking like, because I've helped people in Port St. Lucie look at homes and they're debating between South Florida or Port St. Lucie, and it's really just your preference, because some people don't mind the higher property taxes because the home prices are so low. But I've also had people where they're paying cash and they don't want to have to deal with the higher property taxes out of their monthly expenses, and they would rather have a more expensive home. It's totally preference and what you're looking for, but like I said, it's so much more affordable, the houses in Port St. Lucie versus South Florida. So like, yes, you might get lower property taxes in Jupiter, but if the house is 200 or 300,000 more than Port St. Lucie, like I said, you're just going to be kind of weighing the pros and cons of that. It's also worth mentioning with the property taxes, if you do live in gated communities, a lot of them are going to have CDDs that can range from around 1,000 to 1,800 annually. And if you live in the Tradition area, they have a Tradition CDD, which is going to be about 1,500 annually as well. So calculate your property taxes going based on the $2,300 per $100,000 that I mentioned. And then also keep that in mind if you are looking into gated communities, new construction communities, or living in the Tradition area. Now we're about to talk about what the prices are in Port St. Lucie and what homes are selling for. So far in 2024, through 6 months, we've had 2,855 closed sales, which puts us on about a pace of about 5,700 closed sales, which is a lot of homes sold. So we'll be able to give you a good idea of what these homes look like. We had an average sales price through 6 months in 2024 of $450,000 at a average size home of 1,900 square feet, which puts our average price per square foot in Port St. Lucie at $239. I just wanted to give a quick kind of look at the pie, if you will, to show you how many homes sell at each price point. So I'm going to quickly go through these for you as well. Starting with under 300,000, we had 164 homes sold, and between 300,000 and 400,000, we had 908 homes sold. Between 400 and 500,000, we had 902 homes sold. Between 500 and 600,000, we had 315 homes sold. Between 600 and 700,000, we had 125 homes sold. Between 700 and 800,000, we had 68 homes sold. Between 800,000 and 900,000, we had 33 homes sold. Homes sold between 900,000 and $1 million, we had 19 homes sold. And lastly, we had 26 homes sold for over $1 million in 2024 so far. I hope that helps with setting the expectations for the price point that you're looking for in Port St. Lucie. Also in 2024 so far, we've had 63% of our sales happen outside of an HOA and 37% happen inside of HOAs. And the large majority of the HOA sold homes are going to be in St. Lucie West and Tradition, which are the 34986 and 34987 zip codes. There are some exceptions of some other larger HOA communities throughout Port St. Lucie as well, but those are the two big HOA heavy zip codes. As far as having a new construction home in Port St. Lucie, currently there are about 15 communities that are still building, and we also had about 100 sales on scattered lots this year for new construction homes or spec homes just in these first 6 months. So you'll have options whether you're looking for new construction in a gated HOA or looking for a spec home or a custom build on a scattered lot. There is such a wide range of amenities and neighborhood amenities that you'll find in Port St. Lucie that we can really find whatever you're looking for. I mean, there are golf front communities and homes, lakefront homes, Port St. Lucie river access homes, amenity driven communities, great 55 and older community options. There are awesome communities that aren't 55 and older and are very amenity driven if you're looking for either families or you're not looking to be in a 55 but still retire in this area, which I hear a lot. People, it's so funny that they want to be in an area to retire but don't want to feel like they are retiring. So I understand. We have walkable neighborhoods, whether you're in an HOA or non-HOA areas. And we even have an air park neighborhood if flying is your hobby. I could keep going on and on about the types of neighborhoods that we have in Port St. Lucie, but I think we have a good starting point to kind of get the ball rolling and give you an expectation of what to expect in Port St. Lucie. It's time to talk about the local recreation and amenities of Port St. Lucie. Starting with the most notable is going to be the St. Lucie Mets Stadium, and this is where the New York Mets play spring training, and we have minor league throughout the rest of the year. Port St. Lucie also has 8 golf courses ranging for all skill levels of golfers and has plenty more golf courses in the surrounding neighborhoods of Stewart, Palm City, and Vero Beach. Also in these surrounding neighborhoods, Port St. Lucie is just 30 minutes away from gorgeous beaches in either north or south, so you'll have plenty of options for your Florida beach days. Other options for getting outside in Port St. Lucie are going to include over 45 parks in the area that include activities like kayaking, canoeing, softball fields, baseball fields, tennis, pickleball courts, exercise equipment, dog parks, and so much more. And we also have a movie theater that I used to work at way back when, and I still have a soft spot for this movie theater, even though it could definitely use some renovating. But we also have 3 other movie theaters within 30 minutes of each other as well. Also, we have 2 bowling alleys, and we have a pop stroke to play some mini golf. And for the more adult amenities, all of the local bars and restaurants of the area pretty much have have events going on or specials going on for each night of the week. So if you're ever looking to just get out of the house and go to one of the local spots, they'll likely have something going on, which is always great to know. And we also just opened a Dave & Buster's in Port St. Lucie, which is another fun, cool spot to go to if you're ever just looking to get out of the house and have some fun. And Port St. Lucie is really great about having local events for vendors, live music, and great food at least once or twice a month, and always having holiday events. The two main spots for these events are typically going to be found at the Tradition Square and the Mid-Florida Center. The last amenity that I will touch on in Port St. Lucie is something that's just continued growing and will continue growing in the area, and that's just the amount of shopping and retail that we have in Port St. Lucie. We've kind of gotten to the point where I can't think of what we're missing in the area. So basically, you're always about 5 to 10 minutes away from the next shopping plaza. So you'll never have to drive too far to find what you're looking for, and I think that's a big perk of the area as well. And it'll also lead us into our next topic, which is going to be the developments of Port St. Lucie. I made a separate video recently covering the 6 large developments that are happening in Port St. Lucie, so I won't go into too much detail on these projects, but Port St. Lucie is developing a lot of commercial plazas and developments along the major roads of Port St. Lucie. They're giving us more grocery stores, restaurants, local and franchises, just giving more places for people to go that are closer and more walkable to their communities. And I think this is really great for the infrastructure. We're also getting a new golf course, which is great because we just had Astor Creek open this past year, and now we're going to be getting another one very soon. We're also getting spectacle type of developments like the giant heart sculpture going in the Tradition area of Port St. Lucie. One of the things that I love about all of the entertainment and spectacle driven developments that are currently under construction is that we are getting more downtown or city like amenities. What I personally love about some of these spectacle and entertainment driven developments that we're getting in Port St. Lucie is that it's giving us more downtown type feels, even though they're spread out through Port St. Lucie, but just areas that you wouldn't mind hanging out at, walking around and going shop to shop, restaurants, getting us out of the house, getting us in this beautiful Florida weather and really enjoying Port St. Lucie. One of the major developments that I didn't cover in my video, I figured I can just cover it here, is that we are getting a Costco distribution center in the Legacy Park area of Tradition. They are joining Amazon, FedEx, and Cheney Brothers as the other warehouses and big companies over in that Legacy Park. These companies have been moving to Legacy Park over the last few years because we have an awesome industrial park, but also because of the great value of the area and the proximity that we are to other major cities. And it is worth mentioning, getting all these commercial projects and all of these more buildings that are popping up and companies that are moving to Port St. Lucie, is that this should have a positive impact on the jobs that are in the area as well. If you are moving to the area with kids and you're interested in the school system, I will have the link in the description for the local ratings of the schools in St. Lucie County. For the most part, what I saw is a lot of them are between the A and B- ratings, and we have about 48 schools in St. Lucie County, ranging from pre-K all the way to college. And I think having so many high ratings is also just another indicator of how great this area is. If you have any questions about Port St. Lucie that I didn't cover in this video, please comment them below or just shoot me an email. I hope you found this video helpful in your home search, and I look forward to working with you further. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and have a great rest of your day.